Hey friends, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Jill, and welcome to this week's episode of This Just Got Weird.
You know who made it.
Welcome back.
Hello!
We're happy to see you.
New Year's happened. It's finally the new year.
Happy New Year to you, all the amigos.
Why was it so sad? Hello.
Another year of melancholy.
I mean, I had a very busy week, New Year's week.
I stayed up.
Kind of.
So I got this like cool Android box, as you heard on the last episode, and it's probably illegal. I don't care. I've done worse illegal shit. It's illegal. And so I could watch the ball drop in Eastern time. And so Benny and I watched that at 10 o'clock our time. And then we watched the Chicago one at 11 o'clock our time. And then we went to bed. So.
I don't want to, damper your fun on being illegal, but you literally could have done that on regular streaming TV.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How do you change the time?
No, they just have pre-recordings, and they play them all the time. Like, they'll start with Australia, and then they'll be like, England just celebrated the New Year's, and then they'll
Oh, they don't play the New York one at midnight in Idaho?
They do, but it's already been recorded.
Right, I know it's pre-recorded. I watched it live at 10 o'clock our time.
Yeah, so did I.
And then you watched it again at midnight?
Well, no. It was the live, and then at midnight, because it's midnight our time.
See, I have not stayed up. I had no idea.
It's okay.
I didn't know.
It's okay.
Happy holiday being over to you guys. Hope all your manifestations come true. I hope all your resolutions get met.
Your goals
Are
I
achieved.
just hope you have a really great year.
I do too. I hope you guys, anyone listening, has the most beautiful year that they could ever have.
Yeah, I mean, mine didn't start great, but it's going to be awesome.
Why didn't it start great?
Because I had to get a new water heater.
Oh, Jill's been spending money left and right.
Yeah, I had to get a new water heater because ours went out. Because my husband was doing his yearly maintenance like a good person should.
I didn't even know you had to do that.
Yeah,
So good for
you're
him.
supposed to empty it every year to get the sediment out. Anywho.
I love learning new stuff on the
I know
podcast
you
with
do.
my very wise best friend.
You do, every episode. So he was doing that, and they went to relight the pilot, and it wouldn't light. And so he had me try it, thinking he was being crazy. So I tried it. I couldn't do it. We got somebody to come out the next day, and they're like, no, it's totally fried.
So did he break it?
No, it just burnt out. We've had so much trouble with the water heater since we moved in here.
So it wouldn't have lasted long anyways had he not.
I think this is the second time. The water heater prior, we had to replace it once or twice already, but it was under,
in this house.
Mm-hmm,
Holy
but it was
cow.
under warranty. But then we found out that the brand that we had, it was a shitty brand. So then guy couldn't get it. So then we had to get a new water heater. Thankfully, Sarah lives close, so we were able to shower at her house. Cause
I was wondering how you were showering.
yeah, because the night before I was boiling water and
I was just wondering if you stank.
I didn't.
That's good.
But yeah, so then we got that fixed, and then Ethan's truck needed some few repairs that we already knew about, but then he had a rear differential.
Yep, you have that right.
It went out. So what we thought was just going to be a few hundred became several. But now we're done for the year. We're done.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That's very good.
It's so very eventful.
Good. I had nothing happen.
Good.
I felt like I had something happen that I needed to share. Our house is getting bought.
Yes.
I just want to share how much I believe in the law of attraction and manifestation again, as I do every episode, but give this example. Yesterday morning, I'm with Jill, and I'm like, I know that I can't have this doubt, so I need to share it with you so that I can dump it out and I need to just get it out. I need to let it go and get it out. I'm worried we're not going to be able to, the guy who wants to buy our house isn't going to buy it. I'm worried that we're not going to be able to afford a new one. I'm worried that the one, I just needed to get any doubt that I had out. So I said it all to her, let it go. and then manifested the shit out of it. I'm like looking at new houses. I'm like, okay, I'm going to write it down 1,000,000 times. 2 hours later, my husband texts me and said, hey, I just talked to blah, blah, blah. He's ready to buy the house. And I freaked out because the universe just validated my manifestations.
Yeah. Like,
it was like, you got the doubt, you got rid of the doubt, you said it's going to happen, and it will happen for you.
And that's what a lot of people say, too. Like, you can't have doubt and say your manifestations
It doesn't work if you have doubt. It doesn't.
Because when we started this, we had doubt.
We did. And now we're here. And
now we're just like, yeah, no, this is a thing.
And it's, honestly, I think podcasting has instantly become one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Yeah, yeah.
Instantaneously. It is so fun. Not only because I get to hang out with you, but like editing, it's fun. Making the notes for it is fun. Coming up with episode ideas is fun. Like everything about it is just so fun. So if you want to become a podcaster, you totally should. It is fun.
Yeah, we just use GarageBand.
Yeah, we use GarageBand to record and edit.
So
we record it on
great.
Yeah, we record it on a Mac and then we just transfer it to GarageBand for iOS and then I edited it on my iPad.
Yeah.
And then we upload it to
Podbean, which has been super simple.
I love Podbean. And the little hiccups we had, they weren't ridiculous. Like they were easy fixes.
Yeah, and it was like stuff that we needed to fix on our end.
And it was easy fixes once we figured it out.
Yeah, because
I'm adding a lot of D's to my sentences.
Yeah, you are.
Edited it, fixed it. I did this stuff.
You did this stuff.
Yeah, so if you want to start a podcast, do it. We'll give you some advice. Reach out to us and we'll give you some advice. It's been very fun.
It's been fun.
And honestly, easy. Like, for the most part, it's pretty easy. So
yeah, I mean, we were stressed out in the beginning because we didn't know what we were doing. Thank God we had Lars who researched mics and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, my husband's so sweet. He watches Linus Tech Tips, and the second I said we needed mics, he was like, I mean, we found some, and we're like, oh, we'll just get these. But then he's like, no, let me look into this for you. So he went and he researched microphones for us and everything. And then same thing with my headphones. I was like, I need headphones for the podcast because I was just using an old set Jill had. And he was like, I will find the best ones.
Yeah. And then, he did. Yeah. And then we found music, and then my family helped us decide on the final one to go with.
Yeah, we called them down and played each intro with our intro, and they helped. They were the deciding factor because we had 3 that we wanted to go between, and Isley and Ethan both picked the same one, and so that's the one we went with, and it's just been fun.
It's been fun. But let us start talking about one of our funnest adventures.
Yeah, we're finally going to do this episode that we have promised.
Yes.
It's the Goodwill Bins episode.
Our tips and tricks.
And our experience when we were there. Because if you don't know what you're getting into, it's a lot. It's overwhelming.
Yeah, and so how we found it, like my friend Sam, she had talked about it on our last podcast, and I had never heard of him.
And I didn't hear about him until you.
Yeah, and I didn't even know there was one close to us. Mm-hmm. So I just, I looked it up. I found the address, and then
it's in Utah.
Yeah, there's one in Utah,
like Salt Lake,
and I think there's one in most major cities. It's called the
Goodwill Outlet.
Goodwill Outlet, which I thought it was like an outlet store.
Right.
I didn't think it was going to be like actual bins, but it was.
Literal bins, huge,
and then
big blue bins.
Yeah, and I would see Instagrams of people digging through the bins, and at first you're like, what are you digging? Like, what are you doing? And then like they would show their haul afterwards, and it was like, okay, I want to go, because it was like some it's brand new, some it's like true vintage, like everything, all areas of the vintage thrifting spectrum. So we went for the first time last summer.
Was it summer? I couldn't remember when it was.
But. Yeah, and it was just you and I, and we were planning to go thrifting, period. Like, we just wanted to go thrifting.
Oh, yeah, we had this whole day planned out. We're like, first we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here, and then we're going to go here. Well, that didn't happen.
No, because when we went, we did take gloves the first trip.
We did. We knew that much to take gloves. So
we only brought one pair each.
Oh, yeah. And we both had sharp nails.
Yeah. And so we had one garbage bag. Because when you see them, like, they had shopping carts, so you would just assume there's going to be shopping carts for you to use.
Yes. So when you go, if you aren't first, though you're not the first one there, it's almost nearly impossible to get a shopping cart.
Oh yeah, because people will line up
and camp there
and be there all day long.
All day. And so then it's this big warehouse, and you go in, people are already rummaging through these bins, and they have like bins around the edges of the walls on some sides, and then the main ones are these 3 rows of huge clothing bins, and people will go around the edge of the warehouse and just camp their carts all day long.
Yeah, and it's like a cardinal rule. You do not touch anybody else's stuff.
No,
if there's a pile off to the side, it is to be left alone.
Yeah, it's somebody's. So you don't touch other people's carts. You don't touch other people's like stuff near, like if there's bags under the bins, that's probably someone's. Like Jill was walking, she's like, oh look, there's a bag of Sorels right here, and this guy turns to her, he's like, those are mine.
I'm like, oh, I'm
shit,
sorry. I'm like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I just good finds.
Yes, what wonderful. Yeah,
I was
we'll move on.
That's
sorry,
cool.
Sorry,
I didn't know.
Our bad.
I didn't know you could find Sorels. I was just excited.
Yeah, so there's so much to it that is just like unspoken. Like everyone knows what's going on except for you,
the newbies.
You don't know.
Because so we went, and we just, at first we were kind of just like delicately picking things.
Oh yeah, you're like
looking at sizes and like, oh, that's kind of cute, and like put it off to the side, and then like the one guy comes out and he like just starts yelling, move to the sides, move to the sides.
I need everybody off to the side, and the crowd, the mass starts moving, and we're just still like, we're rummaging through the bin like, oh, la, 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 la. And then he's like, hey, you have to get off to the side. And we notice they're putting up these cones with chains attached and creating like a barrier. And so they put up these barriers, and we're like, oh, I guess we'll go stand by these other people. And they're kind of in a line in each row. And we're like, what's going on? And there's this couple ladies behind us who are also from not Utah, and they're like, do you guys know what we're doing? And we're like, no, we have no idea.
Like, we have no idea. And there's like, I mean, there was like a bunch of 20-year like young kids,
even teenagers.
Yeah, there was like
high school
all
students,
over the spectrum of ages and whatever. And so we're just excited to be there. We're just like, this is fun. I love this. And then they remove the cones and the chains.
Yeah.
And it is like a fucking frenzy.
It is like the animals have just been, like the doors to the zoo have just opened, and all the animals are just like fucking beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Beating the shit out of these bins. And they are like, they're not standing in one spot. They rush to the spot nearest them, flip them. That's the other thing with these brand new bins.
They're covered in blankets.
Covered in blankets, so you can't see under them as they're like wheeling them out. So then the kids rush, whoever's in the front of the line, rushes to the nearest spot, rips the blanket off, throws it off, and just starts like, when I say it's like a cartoon of someone like throwing clothes up in the air in like a factory line, I mean it. Like they are throwing clothes up and just like moving along the bin as fast as they can.
And Courtney and I are just like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for?
Yeah, we're just like still doing the same thing we did when we walked in. We're just kind of looking at a few pieces, and then kids are going around us, grabbing shit out of our hands, throwing shit on top of what we're looking at.
Yeah, and so there was a kid, and I was like, I am not trying to find what you're finding. I was like, but what's going on?
Yeah, we just want to know what you're looking for. Like when you're acting like this, what are you expecting to find?
Yeah, and he was just like, you just got to go with the feeling. You just got to go with the flow. Whatever you're feeling, just grab.
Open your mind, brother. Like,
he's like,
open it.
He's like, don't restrict yourself.
Yeah, I hate when people are just like stuck in their mindset. You got to open your mind and just do it.
And then he's like, if you kind of like it, grab it.
That was good advice.
That was good advice.
That is something we did start to do, and then we did the second time we went, because we've only been twice, right? Or did you go a third? No, because you didn't go that time because it was a Sunday.
No, it was just,
yeah. So we've only been twice. And that was some great advice, because people are rummaging so fast. If you somewhat kind of like it, throw it in your bag. And then off to the side later, when you find your own little camp space, then you can go through it and like say, okay, I don't really want this. Or yes, I do want this. Fold it and put it in your bag and throw the other stuff back in the bin.
Because the other thing is you don't really have time to look at sizes.
No, you look later. If you like
just
it,
you
grab
hold it up and you're like, yeah, I think this could fit me, and throw it in your bag.
Yes. Until it starts to slow down, because these kids, they go through the whole bins and they do it fast, and then they're done within like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is just still,
We're still in shock of what's going on.
Yeah, you're just doing it slow-mo and going through the bins. So the rush happens fast, but then it ends just as quickly.
Yeah, and the rotation. So they do a rotation. So they have it split up into clothes, shoes and bags,
Toys.
and then books. Books was its own thing. And so they would rotate like often with every section.
Yeah. And I think the clothes have 3 big sections, and those rotate the most frequently.
Yeah.
And they do. So when we were looking at it, we're like, oh, well, we should get the rotation schedule, because we couldn't pinpoint how often they were doing the bins. They actually, to make more money, they sell their rotation schedule online. Like, you have to buy it, and then you'll know when the bins are going to be rotated. And I think it's different prices every day, and then also different schedules every day. So you can't have the same schedule or people would catch on.
Because the first time we went, it was like every hour and a half.
Yeah, and then this last time was more frequent, I felt like.
Yeah, it almost felt like every hour.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so they rotate the times, and it's always different. So you have to purchase a schedule if you want one.
Which is really smart.
It is very smart for the Goodwill. Yeah, like, it is. It's a good idea. It's a good business proposition.
Yeah.
I'm rapping for you.
That.
I'm beatboxing.
I need to work on it.
Oh, cruel. But yeah, so they rotate their schedule, and I guess if you camp there all day, you probably would catch on, or maybe they do it really smart so that you can't catch on, and they do it every hour for like 2 hours, and then every 30 minutes for an hour, and then like maybe they switch it up. We don't know, because we haven't bought the schedule.
Another thing, I had brought a garbage bag because I was like, oh, I'm going to want to tie those clothes up because they're, I don't know what condition they'll be in.
You don't know where, yeah.
But you need to bring, like this last time I brought several garbage bags. I brought IKEA bags.
BYOB.
Yeah.
Bring your own bag.
And just know you're going to fill them up and be dragging them along.
You do. So we had this tactic this time because pretty quickly, we had 2 huge IKEA bags, because really the bang for the buck is top tier, which is crazy. You're getting good stuff for literally $1 a pound usually. Yeah, because like prices change, but it's like about $1 a pound.
Because the first time we went, we bought like 40 pounds of clothes, and it was like...
Oh, it was opposite. It was almost 30 pounds of clothes for $40.
Yeah.
Because it was like $1 something a pound. Yeah. And then this time, we had bags upon bags. Like, so what we did was we filled a couple bags pretty quickly, and then we just went and paid for it, and then went and put them in the cart and went back with new bags.
Yeah.
Or emptied the bags and went back, because you find so much stuff.
Yeah, and we brought Isley with us, because we were actually there because she was going to a soccer showcase.
Yeah.
And so she was funny in the beginning, because she was like doing what we did the first time, kind of like picking things up and like, I can't find anything. And I'm like, you have to dig, babe. You have to dig.
Which is so funny, because like, you can't, even though it was only our second time, you can spot a first timer. Like, instantly. You can spot a first timer, because they're like, get out of the way. And they did what we did. They're like, what are you talking about? So we just stood wherever. And then also because they're slowly like picking through the bags, and you're a little shy the first time you go to the new bin. Like, she did start out shy, and then she started to really like branch out and go look for stuff, and
towards
she found
the
some good
end,
stuff.
She was getting into it, and it was just fun to watch her, because she does like both my kids love to thrift.
Yeah, that's the thing now too. Like, thrifting is huge. The thing, especially for young kids.
But it was funny because we brought gloves, like a lot of gloves with us this time, and she had found like these kids were like looking at this yellow vintage pair of Nike sweats, and she's like, I want those sweats. And I was like, all right, just watch them. If they put it away, then go grab them. And she's like, okay. And we're like, I'm kind of like digging slow, because I know she wants them, and I want to help her get them, because she was like, I really want those. And so they did. They put them down and walked away, and I was like, go grab them. And she grabbed them, and she held them up. There was a big shit stain.
I was off doing my own thing. I didn't even know this happened.
Yeah, you were on the other end, I think. And Isley held it up, and she was like, is that poo? And I'm like, Yeah, it is. I was like, that's exactly why they put it down.
That's what's unfortunate is like you do need to wear gloves. If you're not even if you're not a germaphobe, just wear them. It's for your own safety. And we took sterile sleeves.
Just in case
it gets really bad.
Because the first time we went, we grabbed some wet stuff.
We grabbed wet stuff, and even through the glove, you could tell it was wet. You grab wet stuff. There was pills in the bottom of the bins. There was a needle. It was a syringe. There wasn't a needle attached.
Oh, I thought there was a needle
attached.
attached.
No, it was just a syringe.
Yeah, but we found a bunch of pills.
Yeah, a syringe. We found chonies, like tons and tons and tons of freaking...
so much underwear.
And this time, I didn't find as many chonies.
I didn't either.
So it must have been someone died, and then they donated all their spouse's chonies. And
I don't know.
There was a guy there that was like, babe, look at these ones. Like, they were there for the chonies.
There was those people, and then there was another guy, and that's all he was grabbing was chonies. And then I was like...
And bras.
Yeah, and then
the one guy was shopping for bras.
So then I told Courtney, I was like, I bet he's selling them.
You're right. I forgot. Yeah.
Because for like a split second, we were both like...
We could do that.
That's actually pretty smart.
If it turns out one day we hate our jobs enough, we're gonna go to the Goodwill bins time, find some dirty chonies, and you'll see them for sale on thisjustgotweird.com. This just got dirty.
But yeah, so, and then like you do find stuff with stains, like dirt or whatever.
Oh, for sure.
So you like, you don't really look it over until you pull off to the side.
Some is obvious though. Like there was some pairs of jeans that like you could tell they were a rancher's jeans, and before he donated them, I don't even know why the Goodwill didn't just throw them away instead of hang them up on the rack. Like maybe they did. Maybe they were like, we can't put this in the store. We'll just throw it in the bins.
Yeah.
So they don't get rid of them. But I don't know how that works. But because this is like the last chance stuff. This is the stuff that didn't sell in the store. So then they're like, okay, last chance. And I wonder if they just like, they know they can't sell it in the store, so they just throw it to the bins. But
yeah, that makes sense.
I pick up these rancher's jeans, and there's like fucking cow shit, horse shit, whatever shit on these jeans for sure. And I just hold them up to Isley. I'm like, I found more doo-doo. She was fun to go with.
Yeah, she was funny. She was just like, ew. And then, but the weird thing about it, because you know it's the bins, it's the last chance, that you don't think you're going to find anything brand new.
The crazy part is that you do. Like not only brand new stuff, but just like, or the vintage stuff, like you said, like,
yeah, like
people make a business. Like all the cars you see there, not all the cars, sorry, majority of the cars you see there have stickers on them that are like, I buy vintage, or go to this shop on Instagram, I sell vintage. Like,
yeah,
people are making bank doing this.
And the other thing is like, I know some people are like, well, they're getting what I want. A lot of times they're not. A lot of times you're there looking for something else, because when we went the last time, I didn't really find anything for me, but I found a shit ton of clothes for Ethan, and it was dress wear, like men's dress wear, like dress slacks. Yeah, dress slacks.
Slass. He's so slassy.
Slassy.
Slassy boy.
But yeah, so I found him dress slacks, dress shirts. A couple of them had tags still on them. The first time I brought home, and they were like Italian pants, and I looked them up, and they were like $300.
Damn. Yeah, because that's the thing too. There's a couple of, I don't remember what brand, but I bought them and I resold them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you can resell them. I mean, if you want to do that. I don't think I'm going to make that a frequent thing, because I don't like to sell stuff online, but unless it's feet pictures.
Oh, yeah.
You can find them at #Courtney'sFeetPics.com. Courtney's toes, her dogs.
Here.
Every time I talk about my dogs, I'm actually talking about my toes. It's just like a code name. Sawyer's the big toe. Charlie's the pinky. But I found a pair of Tevas. Like,
we both did.
Oh, you did too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was mine Teva? No, I found a pair of what's the other one like Tevas? Chacos. I found a pair of Chacos.
Yours were Chacos. Mine's Tevas.
Yes, yeah.
And they were, I mean, they just need to be washed.
Yeah, I washed mine. Benny is the one who benefited from me going to the Goodwill bins the second time.
Yeah.
I found so much stuff that right now I'm in this era that I dress like a teenage boy. So, and my son is going into his teenage years. So we can wear the same stuff. If I grabbed it and I didn't necessarily like it, I'm like, oh, Benny can have it. And he loves it. Those Nikes, I found some old 90s Nikes, and they were signed. They were signed, and I don't think it was anybody that was of importance. We looked, but Benny wears them every day.
That's awesome.
He loves them. He thinks they're the best shoes ever, and he's like, Mom, everyone likes my shoes. And then I gave him a bunch of shirts, it's just fun. It's fun to find. What the fun part about it, fashion-wise, is that nobody else is going to have it.
Yeah, that's the best part about
Yeah.
thrifting. Because I love when somebody's like, oh my God, I love your outfit. And I'm like, it's thrifted.
Yeah, like I spent $3.5 on this total, this whole outfit.
Yeah.
And no one else has it like they did back in the day. They don't anymore. It's awesome. It's so fun.
I love it. Yeah, and Isley, she found some really good stuff. Mm-hmm. It's funny too. She found a pair of jeans that had oil stains. Like they looked like mechanics jeans.
Yep.
Like they had oil and dirt all of them. She's like, these are sweet.
Yeah,
and I was like,
they love it. Like that's the style right now. Like,
yeah.
What is that brand of shoe that literally
I don't know.
I was destroyed?
I was trying to think of that because Ethan, we were showing Ethan what he's like, those are dirty. And I'm like, babe, that's in.
That is literally the style
like,
to come.
People will pay thousands of dollars to wear dirty clothes.
Yeah. I mean, I should have bought the chaps. I'm
upset you didn't.
I was wearing full leather, like real leather, heavy ass chaps around for a minute because I wanted to show Isley.
Yeah.
I was just walking around with these chaps on. But you find good stuff or you find weird stuff. But either way, I mean, you make it your own.
Yeah. It's really fun because it's also an adrenaline.
Oh, it so is. If your self-care or your dirty pleasure involves shopping and just spending money, it's the best place to do it because you're really not spending that much money.
No, I think for
this
all
time
I got a lot. I think I got like 3 full bags and I spent under $100.
Like huge IKEA bags.
And in those 3 bags, so we had already paid once.
Yeah.
And we went around and we were like, okay, we were all getting tired and hungry and...
Oh, because that's the thing. You'll be there all day.
Yeah. The first time we were there, we were like, oh, we'll be here for a couple hours. And
yeah.
then,
like we'd said earlier, we had a full day planned. That did not happen. After we were done, we were exhausted.
Yeah, we didn't even really eat. We went and got a beer and an appetizer.
Oh, we did. Yeah, because we were so tired. We're like, we don't want a big meal. We're already so tired. So we went and got a beer and an appetizer and went to one more store and literally went the fuck home.
Yeah, and then we were like, I was like, I'm good to go home if you are.
No, we were exhausted because, so we were wrapping up. We were tired.
Leaving, and I was like, okay. And we were looking at the books for whatever reason. And I grabbed this one book because it had gold.
The presidential.
Yeah, a presidential gold seal. And I was like, oh, what's this? And I opened it and I knew it was antique by the feel of the covering and the look of it.
And the paper.
The paper was really old.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm going to get this for Ethan. He'll love it because it was about presidents. It was about like the president at a certain time.
Yeah. And it was the one. And then we start looking and we find like 15. We found a shit ton of these same books.
Well, and then the funny thing is Isley's like, Dad's not going to like those. I'm like,
yeah, she kept saying it. She's like, you're not getting those. Dad, no, we gotta save money. Dad wouldn't need those.
Yeah, Dad's not going to want those. And I'm like, no, your dad's going to totally want these. Yeah, so I found all the ones that I could. And then we get home and we're showing Ethan all the stuff. And I was going to save it for Christmas because this was in early December that we went.
Oh, yeah, it was.
And I was like, can I give you your surprise now? Because I told him, I was like, I've got the best surprise for you. And he was like, yeah. And so I pull out these books and he's like, these are cool. And he's like looking at them and it was like so-and-so in the 56th Congress and like all this. And I think like there's one about Abraham Lincoln and Thomas Jefferson and like, you know, the like almost like the original 15.
Yeah.
He looks them up like when they were printed and when that issue came out, they're 100 years old.
Yeah. And still in pretty good condition. Like I think maybe we found one.
Yeah, 1 or 2 that are kind of falling apart, but I think it's just because they were thrown around.
Yeah, and then there was one we found there that you didn't get that's cover was literally ripped off, but majority of them were pretty decent.
Pretty good condition. And I just looked at Isley and I was like, I told you.
Told you so. Told you so.
But I did have one downfall, the one lone shoe.
Oh, yeah, you did. Jill found this really, really cool old vintage like Puma shoe.
Yeah,
and it
it
was
was so
blue and
cute.
yellow. It was the coolest shoe. And we couldn't find the match.
Because it was when we were going to pay for the first time. And I was like, I'm just going to buy it. And hopefully
we'll find the
it.
second one. Yeah. And all three of us,
We were
you, Isley, and
all-
I, we all looked, especially at the end. We're like, okay, let's do one more round in the shoes and see if we can find it.
And we couldn't find it.
No, which is such a bummer because when they first bring the shoes out, honestly, majority of them, they have paired up and they're like wrapped with like a rubber band.
Yeah.
They're not paired nicely, but they do come out as a pair, at least most of them, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, and even if they're like thrown apart, you usually can find
They're
the
close
match
because they
close to it.
started
or
out as
in
a
at
pair.
least the same bin.
Yeah, so they start out as a pair, and as people kind of toss them around, they get a little separated, but they stay close together.
Yeah.
But this freaking Puma shoe was nowhere to be found, and it was such a bummer. I mean, because it was a cool shoe.
I did actually go on YouTube to see if I could find like the other
eBay?
shoe. Or yeah,
Not YouTube.
no, not YouTube.
Go on the YouTube.
I was like,
Idiot.
when you looked at me, I was like, I said it wrong.
I'm like, what did you look for on YouTube? How to look up to find money.
how to look up one shoe.
How do you find one shoe?
But no, I did look on eBay and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, that freaking sucks. But it was still an eventful trip. The first one was, and I think we're making it like a routine thing. I think we should go at least twice a year,
Oh,
if not
maybe
more.
3 or 4 times a
Like
year.
every quarter.
Once a quarter.
Once a quarter. I like quarters. I like quarters of things.
Yeah.
A fourth is a good thing to
And
have.
I mean, we talk about it at work all the time that a lot of people are like, next time you go, we want to go with you.
Oh, yeah. Because we get complimented all the time on, they're like, oh, I love those pants. I love that shirt. I love this. And we're like, yeah, we got it at the Goodwill bins, paid literally 40 cents for it. And
Yeah.
they're like, what? And it's just crazy to me how common it is or how popular it is, but how also unpopular it is. And it's just word of mouth, I guess, but there's a whole TikTok. Like, there's a whole section
yeah.
of TikTok that's all about these vintage kids shopping, doing the Goodwill bins. And we tried to be hip with the kids and we made a reel about it. So if you want to see some of our finds, it's on there.
Yeah.
Isley caught on after a second, but everything like weird, Jill would pick. She'd be like, ew, what is this? When she would turn around, I would place it into her bag. So she had kids, like
I'm
babies,
just like
Halloween
dragging
costume.
this bag because
Oh,
I am
it's
tired.
so heavy and we're exhausted. So she's dragging the bag behind her like a fucking dead goat and just like a dead lapvona. So she's dragging it behind her and I start just putting every weird ass thing I see or that she's already picked up into her bag when she's not looking. And Isley caught on. So then she's just standing behind me laughing as we're doing it. There's this ugly ass cat, a freaking Santa Claus, Halloween costumes, just weird ass shit. And then finally, I think I put the last thing in your cart and you're kind of dragging it around and we're just laughing. And I think you noticed that.
Yeah,
we
I
were
heard
laughing.
the giggling and I was
We couldn't
like,
hold it in
oh,
anymore because she had this cat, ugly ass, raggedy ass fucking cat doll with a crown just hanging out of her bag. And you can see it on the TikTok. It's on there, but she finds it and she's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I thought something was on my ass. And I was like, oh man, I sat in something.
I touched something and rubbed it on myself. No, it was Isley and I, mostly me. I can't drag Isley into it, but she was having fun with it. So it was, it's fun. It's fun. And it will become a routine for us. But I think if you are going to go, you do need to be prepared, of course. Like, protect yourself. And some people don't care. Like, there was other kids, though, that were like, oh, those ladies are wearing gloves. Maybe we should wear gloves.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, that's
a good idea.
That's smart. And then it was funny because there was a group of teenagers and the guys were like going at it and there was a few girls like going at it, but there was a couple girls and they just kept picking things up and they'd go, ew, it smells. And they would put it down. And then like the girl, she would like tap one of the guys. She's like, will you grab that and lift it up? I want to see what it looks like.
Yeah, they wouldn't touch it. They were making their boyfriends do it. And one of the boys was fed up. He's like, I'm not picking up the shit for them. Look at those ladies. They're wearing gloves. It's disgusting.
Yeah, he's like, he like pointed at us. He's like, they're in it. They don't care. And I'm like,
no, you heard a different guy because the guy I heard, he was like, they're wearing gloves. See, I'm not touching that shit. And then, it was really fun.
yeah.
It's funny.
So
if you are a huge germaphobe, I mean, just don't go. If it's not your thing, totally get it.
Because you honest to God do not know what you're going to grab.
Yeah, what you're going to find. You're going to find some dirty chonies. You're going to find some shit. You're going to find, but you are going to find good stuff too. But so I think the biggest thing, protect yourself.
Wear old clothes.
Wear old clothing. That's a good tip, because you don't want to wear like your nice clothing or clothing, you know. Don't wear your freaking Lululemon leggings that cost $100. Don't wear
don't wear anything
don't take your
brand
coat
new
like your
that
freaking MZ Wallace bag. Don't do that.
Yeah,
wear
we
old clothes that you
wore-
also got from the Goodwill.
Yeah, exactly.
We wore old Goodwill finds.
We did, actually. And then a belt bag to keep your wallet and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
in.
a belt bag's nice because then you can just take it off and wash it. And that's the other big thing. Like when you bring that stuff home, I would recommend, I wash mine twice on sanitary, because even if it looks clean, you don't know what it's touched.
Yeah, so that's what we do too. We wash everything on hot. Or if it's like some of the clothes I did get Ethan, we did take to the dry cleaners because I didn't want to ruin.
Yeah.
But and even after like 2 washes, sometimes you just can't get a smell out. Like I got rid, like this last time I had to get rid of a couple of shirts because there was just a stench in it. I couldn't get out.
I haven't had that yet, but yeah, wash them,
and wear
please.
good shoes.
Because good shoes, because you are standing. You're standing and you're there for a long time if you're committed.
Yeah, because I think all our backs were killed.
Yeah.
By the end of it.
Yeah. Well, I think it was my arms or something. Isley's everything, and you were like, my back.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God.
And you're sore the next day.
Yeah.
It was my arms and shoulders, because I have no arm strength, so I'm just like, my arms and shoulders were exhausted the next day from rummaging like these kids do. Our age showed really heavily right there.
It did, but we were trying to be troopers about it and just be like, yeah, we're fine.
It's funny because, like, for as much as we love thrifting, I like to be clean.
Yeah.
I like my clothes to be clean. I like, I don't want dirty, nasty, stinky stuff. But some of these kids, like, there was a girl there, and I don't judge. I'm like, whatever, if that's your prerogative. But she was trying on clothes while there.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, I can't do that.
Which I can understand, because they're probably like on a budget and they don't want to.
Oh, for sure. They don't want to buy it if it's not going to fit or look good. Because she was like, and she was cute. Like,
yeah,
her
she was
outfit,
adorable.
You could tell she thrifted it. It was so cute. Like, I drew inspiration from her for sure on an outfit for myself. But she was in it. She was a hardcore Goodwill shopper. She probably goes every weekend. And she just tries it on there. And I'm like, good for you. I can't do that.
I
but
looked
good
at
for
her
you.
too, and I was like, God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
But I can't.
No. I'm scared I'm going to get lice. I'm scared. I think even if you are super big on a germaphobe, but you want to go, seriously, take gloves, take freaking sterile sleeves, wear a hairnet. Like, nobody's going to judge you.
No. A lot of people will be like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Lots of people wear gloves.
Yeah.
There's
gloves.
some people wearing the sleeve. Like, no one's going to judge you. Just go do what makes you comfortable and enjoy. Like, it is enjoyable.
It's
so
supposed to be fun. And don't, like, just grab things. Like, if you kind of like it, just grab it, because you don't know. Like, you might think something like you're going to love, and then you hold it up later and you're like,
oh yeah,
I think
know. Most the bag, I end up, like, I get a lot of stuff. I leave with a lot of stuff, but I grab probably triple.
Yeah, you do.
What I actually end up buying.
Especially when they rotate the bins, because you just want to hurry and get through as many new bins as you can before somebody else.
Yeah. I want to say if you don't like crowds, maybe it's not for you, unless it's like you avoid the times that they rotate the bins, because it is a lot more easygoing at that time. Like, all the kids go off to the side and you can kind of just do your little shopping. But if you don't like big crowds, I wouldn't say it's claustrophobic.
No, it's
a huge warehouse. It's pretty open. Like, it's a huge open space.
It's really hot.
Yeah, it does. We wear our hair up because we don't want our hair to touch anything, but also because it is so hot. Like, it's hot as shit. I think there's something there for everybody if you do enjoy thrifting.
Yeah, if you are willing to look past all of that and just enjoy the time, like, you're going to find stuff.
And I think you're going to have fun. It is, honestly, aside from podcasting, it's one of the funnest things we do together.
Yeah, it is super fun.
It's so fun, and it's
fun.
If thrifting is your kink, that's what you do. You go to the Goodwill bins. And if you can't get down and dirty with that kink, you go to Uptown Cheapskate. That's fine too. So this is a huge thing. This is a huge thing on the podcast. I just want to announce. This is what I was going to talk about. I forgot. My whole objective in life is to make people laugh. I just love laughter. I like to laugh. I like to have other people laugh. My favorite thing is seeing someone happy and laughing. So my whole goal in this podcast is to make Jill laugh. But she laughs silently majority of the time, so I just sound fucking crazy. As I've been editing, I'm like, I know she laughed at that moment, but you can't fucking hear it, so I'm just like, laughing at my own jokes. I swear she's laughing at me. I promise. I'm not fucking weird.
We will start recording ourselves doing this so you can see. I do laugh. I do.
You do. Like, you either have the good cackle laugh, or you have the, like, I see it, but you don't hear it. And then I do that too.
There's no in between.
No, because it's like it's the quick laugh, like you're like, haha, like we laugh out loud. But then there's the deep, like, you can't hear us because we're not breathing, and all you hear is my
the wheezing.
The wheeze, the true asthmatic wheeze.
Tammy knows, like, when she's like, I know you're like dying
because you're like, silent.
Yeah, I
like
am.
If you hear Jill silent, she's laughing at me.
Yeah,
and that's my whole goal. I'm glad she's laughing because my whole goal on this podcast is to make Jill laugh. And if you guys laugh too, that's great. But I'm here for my bestie to make her laugh. I am her co-host. I'm her co-host in humor, and that's all I do. You're the main one. And I'm like,
I'm the main one.
I'm just gonna say you are. You're the main one.
I think I'm the co-host.
No, you're the host, and I'm the co-host. I'm just in the back, like, I'm gonna draw a penis so you laugh and think I'm funny.
That shows our age.
I know. I hope you guys all laugh at us, because I don't know. I laugh the whole time I edit. I laugh the whole time I'm here.
I know.
I laugh the whole time I listen afterwards. I listen to our podcast.
I do too.
Sorry. Maybe it's conceited. I listen. And I laugh again.
And then I laugh, and then I'm like, oh, we're so funny.
We're funny. We're so silly.
I hope other people find us funny.
I hope so too. But I just wanted to get that out there, that I'm not laughing at my own jokes. I'm not that conceited. If I laugh on the podcast, it's because I've made Jill laugh, and I'm laughing at her laughing at me. So I'm not laughing at my own jokes.
I will try to.
No, you don't have to, because now they know.
Okay.
And it's funny.
Good, because I don't think I can, like, laugh and, like, die.
See, I have that laugh. Or I have. Look like I'm sucking a ghost dick. It's also so fun to podcast because I'm learning what audio waves, like sound waves, look like. And so I can always tell when we've done something without listening to it now. And it's super fun. But
I know when she's editing, she's like, you see this? This is when you get mad at me.
Or when she laughs, because or my laugh, it's a ha, ha, ha. Like you can see the waves go. And then we do that a lot.
Yeah.
You guys might not. Do you see that? Do you see what it looks like?
I do.
Hopefully you guys don't hear that often, because I take them all out. But long story short, I do that a lot too.
That's her second on Gojo's dick.
If anyone doesn't know, Gojo Satoru is my husband. It's usually me. It's usually me that gets inappropriate first.
I know.
I'm
warming up.
She's warming up. Welcome to Jill's podcast with Courtney as the co-host.
I'm a prude, but I'm not.
Jill's not a prude. Jill's not a prude at all. Anyone who thought they knew Jill knows nothing. Nothing. Only Tammy and I know. And God.
No, I don't think he knows.
I was talking about Gato.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gato knows.
Gato.
He totally knows.
Well, this had so much to do with the goodwill.
So, yeah, go in with an open mind. And
open your hearts, brother. And that guy will probably be there. He was there both times.
And he smelled like weed.
He was actually in our TikTok. I saw him. Yeah, as I was editing the TikTok. He was in it. So you'll probably see him there. And ask him. Be like, what should I look for? And I'm like, whatever your soul feels.
Open your heart.
Open your heart, open your mind, open your ano. Just do it all.
I thought you were going to say open your penis.
Oh my God. Your penix? No.
I don't know how you do
I
that.
said your ano, which means your butthole. So it's not any better.
Well, I know.
Open them at the same time and jizz on the clothes.
Jesus fuck.
Just go have fun. The Goodwill bins are fantastic, especially if you love thrifting. If you don't, whatever. Skip over this episode. It's fine.
No, don't skip.
Yeah, because then you can listen to us talk weird at the end. It's fine. We held it in for a long time. We held it in a lot this time.
We lasted longer.
See, these are the parts we need to record our faces because I'm like, oh, was that what she meant? Yep, that's what she meant.
It is.
I hope I'm not screaming on my mic. It gets pretty loud.
Probably.
That's okay. So, I have a random fact for you.
Yeah. So we've started where we don't tell each other the random fact. now.
Yes, because we want it to be a surprise. Because what if it's like really, really, really fucked up one time?
Is it?
No.
Okay.
I was looking for a super fucked up one, but I couldn't decide. I spent 20 minutes before we actually recorded just trying to find a fact I wanted to just be like, oh. So, I like cars.
No.
And, yeah. I like cars. I like racing. I did. I used to. Not anymore. I used to like street racing. And Benny actually just built a Lego Formula One car. It was like 400 something pieces, and it actually works. Like,
What color is it?
I think it was red.
I think Aiden has the same one.
Stop.
Yeah.
Well, he'll enjoy this fact. So my fact is about Formula One. In Formula One, safety belts were not mandatory until 1972. Can you guess why?
No.
Okay, so the reason, before 1972, drivers believed it was better to be I almost said erect and injected. Drivers believed it was better to be ejected in a crash and either die instantly from a broken neck or suffer many broken bones. The alternative, they thought, was to be trapped and essentially cremated alive should the gas tank ignite.
Oh my God. Where did you find this?
I looked up morbid facts. And it just happened to be Formula One. So I was like, oh, Benny just seems right. Seems right. So I just wanted a morbid fact. So which would you rather?
Ooh.
Would you rather be ejected from the vehicle? Because they're going fast as fast as fuck, boy. I am speed. Would you rather?
I think I'd rather be ejected.
You'd rather be erect?
Yeah.
Ejaculate? Mm-hmm. Ejaculated out of the vehicle?
Yeah.
Because you crash and you're instantly just... Like, you die fast, right? I would think so. You're a nurse. Tell us, share your knowledge.
When you do actually break your neck, depending on where you break your neck. Because some breaks, you just are paralyzed from the neck down.
So I kind of feel like if you were going that fast, though...
Yeah, because they go like...
You'd break your neck, but I think you'd get so much immediate, severe head trauma. Like, don't you think your brain would bleed out super quickly?
Well, I think your head would just smash and, like, explode.
Oh, see? I mean, maybe it is better.
So I think I'd be like, oh, I'm flying, and then...
I don't even know if you'd have time to be like, oh, I'm flying.
I think you would. I think you would have that...
Fly like a bird, I'm a flower. I don't even know you...
You would have that 2 seconds of, oh, shit.
I don't even think it's 2 seconds.
I think it would.
They're going fast.
How fast?
Hey Siri. How fast do Formula One cars go? Okay, I want you to guess.
Ooh, okay. I don't really know. I'm going to say 500 miles per hour.
Whoa, no.
I was like, I don't know. I don't do
so
cars.
They can go 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds and clock up to 233 miles per hour. So have you ever gone over 100 miles per hour in a vehicle?
No, you see the cars I drive.
Okay, I didn't know if you had like a rebel boyfriend at one time or something.
No, I live with safety man. We
Okay, well, I apologize. You don't ever go over 100.
My cars don't.
Yes, they do. They will.
Okay, calm the fuck down.
Okay, well, I was just gonna be like, well, imagine that, but double plus 30.
Hope my mom doesn't listen. The fastest, I gotten close to 100.
Like in the 90s?
Yeah, back in the 1990s.
No, I mean in the 90 miles per hour.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm not going to say how fast I've gone in a vehicle.
Yeah, but you had faster cars.
Right.
You know
but
what we
safely,
need to do?
I don't know if I should say.
Okay, but side note, we should go to Vegas and do they have a track that you can drive.
Well, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll get to experience maybe not even half of what they do.
Well, I think you can do it where you are the passenger.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, we'll go do that and see if any of us shit our pants. But, yes. We went off on a tangent.
We did, sorry.
I think, so if they're accelerating 0 to 60 in only 2.6 seconds, you're going 233 miles per hour. I'm no mathematical engineer. I just feel like you wouldn't even get 2 seconds of thought before you're slammed through the window into a wall.
But the other thing you have to take into consideration, too, the way they sit.
Yeah, but this is back in 1976 before they had the seatbelts, so they're fucking launching out of those fucking things.
But they're still sitting low and they're kind of inset into the car, so I don't even...
I thought you were going to say they were incest.
Jeez, what is wrong with your brain today?
What's wrong with you? You said I was sucking Coach's dick.
Because it sounded like it.
Okay.
I almost, and this is just hypothetical, I almost think you would be ripped in half.
I was kind of thinking that too as you were saying how they sit because your torso. But don't you think they'd get ripped in half still currently? No, because they're being strapped in. They're being held in.
Yeah.
We should watch some Formula One crashes and see what happens.
That's kind of morbid.
Well, I know, but it's
for science.
I don't care. Yeah. Research. We'll find out for you guys. We'll post all the Formula One.
But 1972?
1970. I want to say 6. No, you're right. 1972. Yeah. 1972.
Wow.
So up until then, they would rather be ejected than burn alive.
I mean, I totally understand that.
Right. And then it's like, it's really the only thing I guess that would change your opinion on that and why they changed it is because you could survive if you had the safety harness.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you still won't. I feel like they still could
die
easily.
I've seen some crashes because Ethan will watch them every once in a while. And yeah, you see them like thrown around and stuff. But a lot of them will walk out because now it's
majority survive right away.
Yeah, because the safety measures that they put in the vehicles now.
So maybe it's a good thing. It's a good thing they've added these safety harnesses.
I mean, seatbelts do save lives.
Wear your seatbelts. Don't do drugs.
It saved my life.
Mine too. Mm-hmm. I wish I had a seatbelt on my motorcycle. That one I was only going 60.
Yeah.
You guys, I thrifted. I thrifted this nice, like, really fluffy, like, sweater. It looked like a off-brand Lululemon, one of those.
Oh, yeah, the crop top.
Lululemon crop top hoodies. But it's thick. It's thick material. I got it from the Goodwill Bins.
You did?
I got it from the Goodwill Bins. I can't remember the brand name. It's like a little boutique. I wrecked on my motorcycle on that. So, I mean, I've talked about this on the pod before. I almost got hit by a car, overcorrected, and I mean, instead of going completely off the road, I just tipped my motorcycle because I would have launched into a field with these horses and they probably would have just been like, what the fuck, get out of here.
This is where did that come from?
Yeah, what the fuck is this bitch doing? So I dumped my motorcycle and I just slid down the road going 60. This jacket it doesn't even have a single hole in it.
No.
Like I did find eventually where it must have like my head, I had my helmet on. My head must have like pinned the sweater down in between the street and my helmet, and it kind of scuffed it a little bit on very tip.
But even that was not.
No,
that looked like wear and tear.
Yeah, and I was going 60. Like this sweater, I need to find this brand, and I will market it as motorcycle gear. But I just want everyone to know my bike is still okay. So my plastics are scratched up and I got a new mirror. But other than that, we're good. So still ride it. If you see me out riding, please be mindful of your biker friends out on the streets.
Okay, well.
Formula One.
Well, that just got weird.
As it always does. All right. Well, we hope to see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye.